This video is sponsored by Brilliant. Want to increase your knowledge and improve your abilities? Brilliant.org is the only place to go. Brilliant provides courses in math, data science, computer science, and more that are interactive and hands-on and are appropriate for all ability levels. You can access all of the platform's tools and resources, including interactive courses that make learning enjoyable and engaging, by signing up for a free 30-day trial using the link brilliant.org/computerscience. You will join a community of learners dedicated to realizing their full potential, joining millions of individuals who have already benefited from Brilliant's services. Why the wait? Get started on your path to academic achievement by visiting brilliant.org/computerscience right away, or by clicking the link in the description below. Thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring this video. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on the Python programming language. So in this video I will create a trading strategy called the double death cross to determine when to buy and sell stock. Now I'm currently on Google's website. It's called colab.research.google.com, and I'm on it because it makes it easy to start programming in Python. So all you have to do is go to this website and then log in using your Google account and get started writing your Python code. Now if you're going to code along with me, go ahead and click on File, then click on New Notebook, where a new tab will open up for you, and then eventually a new cell will open up for you. And in this cell, I'm going to import the libraries that I plan on using throughout the program. So here I'm just going to type import libraries, and I'm going to import pandas as PD, and I'm going to import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, and I'm going to give the plot a style. So I'm going to type plt.style.use, and I'm going to use the 538 style. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and run this cell by clicking this button here to the left, and this will let me know if I made any mistakes. And while this is running, before we continue, if you like the videos on this channel, then be sure to click that subscribe and like button, and to be notified about new videos from this channel, hit that bell notification. Also, the material in this video is purely educational and should not be taken as professional investment advice, so invest at your own discretion. And you can also get the code in this video from patreon.com/computerscience if you want the code or the data set, or if you just want to support the channel. I will leave a link for that in the description below. Alright, so it looks like it's done running this cell. Let's go ahead and click the code button in the top left to create a new cell. So now in this cell, I'm going to read in the stock data. So I'm going to create a variable called stock_data, and I'm going to set that equal to pd.read_csv, and then we need to input the name of the file, of the CSV file. So before I do that, let's go ahead and click on this file icon, and let's upload the stockdata.csv file. Okay, I get a little warning, but that's okay. So I'm going to click OK here. All right, and now I'm going to input the name of the file. So that's stock_data.csv, and let's run this. Okay, so everything seems to be good there. Let me go ahead and exit this for now. Let's create a new cell, and here let's show the data. So I'm just going to type stock_data, and let's run this. Okay, so now I can see that this data set contains the columns date, open, high, low, close, adjusted close, and volume. And it has data from January 4th, 2010 all the way to March 17th, 2023. So it contains 3,324 rows of data and those 7 columns that I mentioned above before. All right, so this stock data is data for the S&P 500, and I think that pretty much does it for kind of looking at this data set. So let's go ahead and create a new cell. Now in this cell, I want to compute the 50-day simple moving average, or 50, or I should say, or SMA 50 for short, right? So SMA stands for simple moving average, and 50 tells us how many days. All right, so we're going to compute that, and we're going to compute the 200-day simple moving average, or SMA 200 for short. Okay. All right, so I'm going to create two new columns to store this information. So let's go ahead and create those columns now in our data set. So I'm going to type stock underscore data, and the first column will be SMA underscore 50, and it's going to store the 50-day simple moving average. So I'm going to set this equal to stock underscore data, and we're going to input the close column. So we're going to get that close price, and then type dot rolling, and let's give this a window equal to 50. And then we need the average, so I'm going to type dot mean here. Okay, and to compute the 200-day simple moving average will be very similar. So I'm just going to highlight all of this, copy using Control C, and then come down here and paste it using Control V and change just a few things. So instead of SMA underscore 50, it's going to be SMA underscore 200 because we want the 200-day simple moving average, and the window will not be 50, it will be 200 as well. And this should create our two new columns. So let's run this cell. It looks like it's done. I'm going to create a new cell, and now I'm going to show the data with the new columns. So I'm just going to type stock underscore data and run this. And now we look over here, we can see our two new columns, SMA underscore 50 and SMA underscore 200. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And now in this cell, I'm going to compute the buy and sell trading strategies. The buy and sell trading signals. And this is the trading strategy. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the trading strategy after I correctly spell compute. All right, so the strategy works like this. If the current 50-day simple moving average crossed above the current 200-day simple moving average and the previous 50-day simple moving average crossed above, I think I messed up here. So if the current 50-day simple moving average crossed below, here we go, below the current 200-day simple moving average, and the previous 50-day simple moving average crossed above the previous 200-day simple moving average, then sell. And we're going to indicate a sell signal by setting that signal equal to -1. Okay, and I'm going to just kind of highlight all of this, copy using Control C, and I'm going to come down and paste it using Control V because the next part of this trading signal or of this trading strategy is very, very similar. So if the current 50-day simple moving average crossed above the current 200-day simple moving average and the previous 50-day simple moving average crossed below the previous 200-day simple moving average, then buy. And we're going to indicate that by the value 1. Okay. Else, if neither of the conditions are met, then hold. And we're going to indicate that by the value 0. All right, so that's the strategy. Let's go ahead and create this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the, I'm going to create a signal column and set the the data in the column to 0 to indicate a hold. So that means that we are neither, or we're not buying nor selling. Okay, so that's easy enough. I can just type stock underscore data and then create that signal column, and I can set this equal to 0, and just like that, we're done. All right, so next I'm going to take this first strategy. So I'm just going to highlight all of this, copy using Control C, and I'm going to come down here and paste it using Control V. All right, and let's actually write this. Okay, so we're going to write this condition. All right, so press enter here. All right, so stock underscore data dot lock. We're going to basically set this equal to -1 once our condition is met. And what's the condition? Well, the condition is if the current 50-day simple moving average crossed below the current 200-day simple moving average and the previous 50-day simple moving average crossed above the previous 200-day simple moving average. Okay, so again, if the current 50-day simple moving average crossed below the current 200-day simple moving average and the previous 50-day simple moving average crossed above the previous 200-day simple moving average, then we're going to sell, and that's going to be indicated by this value. So this might be kind of long, but let's see if we can get through it without any issues. So I want the SMA underscore 50, and I want to see if it crossed below the current 200-day simple moving average. So that's going to be less than or equal to stock underscore data SMA underscore 200. All right, so if that's true, and so we're going to use the ampersand for and. So if that's true and stock underscore data SMA underscore 50 is above, so that's going to be greater than, but we want the previous day, the previous time period. So that's easy enough to do by doing .shift 1. Okay, and then just type stock underscore data SMA underscore 200. So we want to make sure that it is crossing above the previous 200-day simple moving average. So to do previous 200-day, we're going to use that shift again. So shift 1 or .shift 1, and I think that looks good. And then we want this in the signal column, right? So we want this to be met, or this condition to be met in the signal column. So then if this condition is met, then at that row we're going to put -1, okay, instead of 0. All right, so I'm just going to highlight all of this. I'm going to copy using Control C. Actually, I'm just going to highlight. Actually, let's highlight this up here first, because we're going to create this second condition, the buy condition. So I'm just going to highlight all of that, copy using Control C, come down here and paste it using Control V. Now I'm going to copy this statement using Control C, because it's very, very similar to what we need to do for the buy signal. And I'm going to paste it here using Control V. All right, so now if the current 50-day simple moving average crossed above the current 200-day simple moving average, so I need to change this from less than to greater than, and the previous 50-day simple moving average crossed below the previous 200-day simple moving average. So if they cross below, then we need to change this to less than. So I'm only changing the inequalities here so that these conditions are met, and then I'm going to change the the indicator here to be 1 for a buy signal. Okay, now that should do it. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes. Let's go ahead and run this. Let's create a new cell. All right, so now I'm going to clean the data. So I'm just going to remove all of the NA values from our data set, and that's going to be easy enough just by typing stock underscore data dot drop NA, and I'm going to set in place equal to true so that it does it within the data set. And then I want to show the data, so stock underscore data. All right, so let's go ahead and run this, and now we can see that all of the NA values are gone out of the data set, and we can see our signal column here. So we can see a few zeros, we can see 1 1, and I don't see any negative ones, but that doesn't mean that they're not in there, right? They could be somewhere in between here. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. Now in this cell we're going to just plot the data. So I'm going to plot the close price, the 50-day simple moving average, and the 200-day simple moving average first. So in order to do that, I'm going to type plt.figure, and I'm going to give my figure a figure size. So I'm going to set fig size equal to, let's do 12 by 6. Okay, and then I need to plot those columns. So I'm just going to type plt.plot, and I'm going to plot stock underscore data close. Okay, and the label will be equal to close, and I'm going to set alpha equal to 0.5, and that should be good. I'm just going to highlight all this, copy using Control C, and then paste it 2 more times using Control V and change just a few things. So I said I want the simple moving average for the 50 days, or the 50-day simple moving average. So I'm just going to highlight that, copy using Control C, and then I'm going to paste that right here, and I'm going to change this here to SMA underscore 200, and here as well to SMA underscore 200, and that should plot those columns for me. Next I'm going to plot the trading signals. So I'm going to type plt.plot stock underscore data, and I want the signal, I want to plot where the signal is equal to 1, because that's going to signal a buy. So here I'm going to put stock underscore data signal is equal 1. So where it's equal to 1, I want to get the index. So that's going to be put on the x-axis, and then for the y-axis I want stock underscore data close. So I want that close price where the stock underscore data signal, where the stock underscore data signal equals 1. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure that that's right. It looks good. Okay. All right, so that will be on the y-axis. Then I'm going to give this a marker. It's going to be the up character. So that's telling me to buy, and I'm going to set the color to be equal to G for green, and the label will be buy. Okay, and the cell will be very similar. So I'm just going to highlight all of this, copy using Control C, and come down here and paste it using Control V. All right, so instead of 1 here, we want a -1 for cell, and same here, a -1 for cell, and instead of an up character, we want a down character, or in this case the letter V. And then I'm going to use the color red, or R for short, and then the label will be to cell. Okay, All right, so next I'm going to give this plot a legend. So I'm going to type plt.legend, and then I want to show the plot. So I'm going to type plt.show, and let's run this. And hopefully we don't have any errors. Okay, so here we go. So let's take a look at this trading strategy and see how well it did with this data set. So we can see that it's telling us to buy here and then sell here. So it doesn't look like there's much, if any, profit between these 2 points. But then it gives us another buy signal here and tells us to sell up here. So we definitely would have profited here. And then it's telling us to buy here and sell here. So we would have actually lost money following this strategy if we did that for these 2 signals here. We see another buy signal here and a sell signal here, so we would have profited. And then another buy signal here and a sell signal here, so it looks like we would have lost some money there. And then a buy signal here and a sell signal here, another profit. It looks like it's currently telling us to buy. So the strategy seems okay. It looks like we would not have profited here at all, right? Maybe a little bit, but definitely here were bad signals, and the other bad signal was here. So we have 2 non-profiting signals. So 2 signals that would put us in the negative and not the positive. And that's not a good thing, right? But maybe there's something to this strategy, and who knows, with some more trading signals it can improve and get better. So thank you for watching this video, and a special thanks to the Patreon supporters on patreon.com. Again, if you would like to become a supporter of this channel or just get the code or data sets, then I will leave a link for you to the Patreon page, which is patreon.com/computerscience, in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.